Hey Clear Lake peeps, Ross England here with Clear Lake Guide Service and your fishing report for June 17th. Look at that, caught a fish. Monster. Whoa. All right. Well, like I said, June 17th. We're halfway through June already. Conditions up here are definitely summer-like. The next couple of days, it's going to be even worse than summer. It just today we had a pretty good day. I don't know, it's supposed to be up in the 80s or something like that. Excuse me, I'm all over the place here. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see me. Okay, what am I doing? Conditions. Conditions are, the water's pretty nasty all around the lake. I've not been down in the Rattlesnake Arm. I have not been down in down towards Redbud. Although I went down there to visit Jimmy yesterday at this tackle shop in Redbud, and it was the wind was blowing pretty good down there. It was kind of a mess. So water was pretty stained up. The temperature's running anywhere from, what I've seen the last couple of days, 73 to 75 degrees surface temp. Clarity all over the board. Some of these areas, if you can get in behind the weeds, the water is relatively clear. Day before yesterday, which would be Monday, water actually wasn't that bad on the lake. It's really starting to get a little bit mucked up. The heat from yesterday afternoon and today, as I'm sitting here looking out over the water, there's kind of that brownish green algae that's kind of floating around. It looks like little suspended particles. There's a lot of that around, especially on the south shore of the upper end of the lake, like down around Henderson. I'm sitting right now in front of Land's End, and it's here. And then there's some whitish looking stuff floating around out there in the weeds and whatnot. So it's kind of getting on the nasty side. So the clarity is running anywhere from, I've been in water where I've seen 2, maybe 3 feet, but the majority of what I'm looking at is you're lucky if you can see under the surface. Under the surface, probably another 2 feet, 3 feet of clarity, but we can't see it from up here. So that water temperature, lake level, for all intents and purposes, depending on when you see this video, it's going to be either just a smidge above zero. I think it was 0.02 or something like that yesterday. At some point this week before our next video, it'll be down to 0 or even a negative number. So I know there's a lot of stuff floating around that rumors they're going to close the lake, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. I'll be the first to tell you, nobody knows that for a fact except for city government. I do anticipate county ramps will probably close first, but I think Clear Lake Oaks ramp, I think Redbud ramp, and I think 5th Street launch ramp, those are all city ramps, and I think they'll probably hang on as long as possible. And yeah, we're probably, depending on their condition, we're probably looking at August, September, somewhere in that time frame. When I pulled my boat out of 5th Street day before yesterday, there were 5 paces from my back axle of my boat trailer to where the ramp ends. So it was about 15 feet of ramp that's still out there. Probably the first guys who will have a problem will be boats like this one, a 21 footer. Some of the shorter boats are probably going to be better off. So anyway, those are the conditions. There's absolutely no facts about when or why they might close the lake, so don't sweat that for right now. I think last week I was told by somebody who lives down in the Oaks that they still had 3 feet of water that they could get in, but I'm telling you, anywhere that you know there's rocks, there's more, just be careful. 2 days ago I found a rock that, I fished this particular area for close to 100 years, and I didn't know that rock was there, so I do now. Probably produce some fish in the future too. Okay, so there's your conditions. It's supposed to be relatively warm the next couple days, like 107, 108. We'll see if it actually happens. Activities for this upcoming weekend. You've got an event called Yakabass, which I don't even know who's putting it on, so I don't know how big a deal it is, but I know it's a kayak event for Saturday and Sunday. And then you have another event called Bank, B-A-N-C. That's kind of like a big club tournament going Saturday and Sunday as well. So there'll be some activity out this coming weekend. Plus, we're starting to see with the weather, there's a lot more pleasure boaters out. One area that I really have tried to fish a couple times, there's wakeboarders have been going up and down it. So, just be prepared. Fishing. We've averaged 20 fish a day. That's plus or minus. Unfortunately, as little as I like Senkos, now's the time when you should be throwing them if you're having a hard time catching fish other ways. It's produced the majority of our fish the last couple of trips. Most of them have been shallow. Most of them have been pretty close to the weeds, just like that one I just caught. It was just on a weed edge. If you're really, really paying attention, you can kind of go along some of these weed lines and you'll actually see, some fry bubble up or something. Just a little bit of activity that'll give you a little hint, hey, something's there. And you can pitch a bait in there, and a lot of times, whether it's a Senko or a fluke, you'll get bit. Topwater bite, kind of a bust for me this week. Part of it was because we just had to deal with a lot more wind than I really wanted to. Today's the first day that I've been out where it actually is calm. As far as sitting here and looking across the entire lake, it's flat right now. So that's a good thing. In all the big weed mats that I have been around, I have not seen any fish chasing, busting, nothing that encourages me to pick up a frog and throw it around. I'm not saying that there isn't a frog bite, because there probably is, but man, I'll tell you what, I like picking up a frog and throwing it when I can pull up to a weed mat, sit there for a couple of minutes and see him splashing or hear him slurping. And I haven't been anywhere where I've seen or heard that happening yet. So let's see, what have we caught them on? We've caught them on, caught a few drop shot fish. Most of our fish have been Texas rig Senko. Seems like it's been working better than the wacky rig. We caught a few popper fish this morning, and I don't want to sound like I'm contradicting myself. I anticipate going out in the morning and catching 10 to 15, 16 topwater fish in the morning. It's just not happening. I think we had 4 or 5 this morning, and had one miss on a whopper plopper. So topwater for me has kind of been a bust this week. As hot as it's going to be, may improve quite a bit. So most of what we've done this week has been on the upper end of the lake, from the Narrows up to Lakeport, through Lucerne and Nice. Little little bit down below the Narrows, but not much. I'll probably explore that a little bit more the next couple of days and get down in some deeper water and see how that's going. So, you know, I think that's probably it. I think I've rambled enough. I'm about to get an airboat come flying by here, blowing me out. So, if you like what you hear, like what you see, hit the subscribe button, do me a favor. And again, can't tell you folks enough, I really appreciate all the comments and everything that you drop down below. And if you have some information that you want to drop down below concerning low water or, you know, ramps or anything like that, feel free to drop it in there. Hopefully everybody's looking and they can kind of catch up. So thanks, y'all. We'll talk to you next week.